Hello everyone. Have a pleasant day. This is Srimati from Dr. Ambedkar Global Law Institute, Tirupati. Today we are going to see the rights of a company auditor and the duties of company auditor. Let's move on to the rights of a company auditor. So the Companies Act has given certain rights and powers to an auditor to discharge his duties effectively. So what are the rights of company auditor? That is what we are going to see one by one. So here the first right is right to access the books, accounts and vouchers under section 227 subsection 1. So here the auditor has the right to access at all times its books of accounts and vouchers of the company, whether kept at the head office of the company or somewhere else. Okay, so here the term access to books means it's about absolute right to access the books without any restrictions. Okay, company's books. And all time means it is about a normal working hours of a business and normal working hours of a company, and he can examine the books of accounts in that time. And then term big books means the financial books of a company, but also the statutory and statistical books which has been included in a company, that also he can access. Okay, and then the term voucher means the vouchers which is includes all documents, correspondence, agreements and which containing an evidence as to the any transactions and are the data in any financial statements. And the next one is right to obtain information and explanation. So here the auditor has the right to obtain any information and explanation as he thinks which is necessary to perform his duties, okay, as an auditor. Suppose if an auditor has to get any information and that explanation which is required for the duty, that alone he has to take. Suppose if any information is available from the accounts of the company and the officers who are undertaken an obligation to provide, they can refuse to do so, and then the auditor can note this point and he can give in his report to the members. Okay, and then the next one is right to receive notice and attend a general meeting under section 231. So auditor has the right to attend to receive the notice of a general meeting, and he has the right to attend the meeting also. Suppose he has the right to speak also in case if the meeting is related to the company's accounts. Okay, and it is about a mandatory that his right is not restricted anywhere when the meeting is related to accounts of company. Okay, and then the right to report to the members under section 227 subsection 2. So here the auditor has the right to make a report to the members of accounts of examined by him, and then understate whether in his opinion and the best of his information according to the explanations given to him by the company's officers or the accounts officer, then according to the requirement, whether the books of accounts are prepared according to the requirements of a company, that he has to report into that members. And he also state whether the financial statements gives the true and fair picture of company's affairs. Right is the right to have a legal and technical advice. Here the auditor, suppose if he in need of experts advice in respect of any legal or technical matter for the discharge of his duties, then he may seek it at the expenses of the company. Okay, so he need not to pay any amount, but the expenditure should be met by the company, and but he must give his report. Okay, he must give his opinion in the report, not by the experts. Okay, and then the next point is right to visit branch office under section 228. If the accounts of any branch office are audited by a person other than the company's auditor, then the company auditor shall be entitled to visit the branch office and shall have a right to access at all times to the books, accounts and vouchers of a company has maintained at the branch office. Suppose if the branch office is outside India, the auditor will not have right to visit such a branches, but will have the right to access the books and which has been sent to the head office. Then the next point is right to receive remuneration under section 224 subsection 8. The auditor has the right to receive remuneration of auditing of accounts of the company, and here though such right accrues only after the completion of audit work. Okay, so after completion of his work only he can get the remuneration. And then next one is right to sign audit report under section 29. This is about only the person who has been appointed as an auditor of company can sign in the audit report. Suppose if the firm has been appointed as an auditor of a company, then the person one who is practicing auditor in India can sign in that report. Right is right to indemnified. So here for many purpose we can say that the auditor has considered to be an officer of a company. So here as an officer he has the right to indemnified out of the assets of a company against the liability which has been accrued by him in defending himself against the civil and criminal proceedings by the company. Suppose he is not held, the condition is he is not held not guilty by the law, then he will be indemnified by the company. And the next one is the duties of an auditor. The duties of an auditor is under section 227 subsection 2. First one is the duty to report the member. Suppose here the auditor is required to make a report to the member of a company in number of cases. The first one is on the accounts which has been examined by him. The auditor has to state a report whether this books of accounts reveals the true and fair view, and the books of accounts to be so kept as give the true and fair view of state of affairs of the company. And the next one is whether or not he has obtained all the information and explanation which is to the best of his knowledge was necessary for discharging his duties. And then whether the report on the accounts of any branch office audited by a person other than the company auditor are forwarded to him or not, it should be notified under section 228. And if auditor has also stated that whether the balance sheet and profit and loss account are drawn up according to the requirements of a Companies Act. And the next one is the auditor has to maintain in his report whether he has to report that whether he is satisfied with the information and explanation given to him with regard to any points. This is about the related, these points are to be noted in auditor's report to the members. And the next duty is the duty to assist the investigators under section 249 subsection B. So here where an inspector is appointed under section 235 or 237 to investigate the affairs of the company, then it is the duty of an auditor to assist him in every possible way. The auditor can be asked to produce the working papers for this purpose under section 240 subsection 6B. Then the next one is duty has to inquiry. Suppose the duty is duty of the auditor related to inquiry in various points, whether the loans and advances have been secured, whether the personal expenditures have been charged to revenue account to misutilize the company fund, or so in this ways the auditor is required to see whether the books of accounts are properly maintained. For this purpose he has to inquire, then he has to make it in his report. It is the duty of an auditor. And the next one is duty to sign the audit report under section 229. So here this is about a important duty. So it is the duty as well as right of an auditor to sign the audit report prepared by him. Suppose in case the firm has been appointed as an auditor, then only a partner of a firm practicing in India can sign the report. and it is next duty to certify the statutory report under section 165 subsection 4. So what he has to sign in the report means that is the shares allotted by the company. Okay, so that is which has been related to the shares allotted by the company, and then the amount of cash received in respect of such shares, and then the abstracts of the receipts and payments of companies in case of the issue of shares. Okay, and the next one is duty has to prospectus under section 56. So here if it is about a newly formed company means the auditor has to sign in the first prospectus first. Suppose if it is about existing company issues the prospectus, the company should the prospectus should contain the statement of profit and loss account and assets and liabilities of a balance company. So here, and the rate of dividend which has been declared by the company in respect of each class of shares for the each 5 years financial years. So this should be certified or signed by the auditor. And then duty has to report under voluntary winding up under section 488 subsection 2. So here where company has been wound up voluntarily, particularly voluntary winding up, the company is required, the number of directors has to take a declaration as to the solvency of the company. In case of voluntary winding up, the company should be a solvency, and such declaration given by the board of directors is effectless or useless unless otherwise it has been accompanied by the report of the auditor relating to the profit and loss account and balance sheet. So it is the duty of an auditor to prepare a such report in accordance with the provisions of Companies Act. So you come to know what are the powers and rights of an auditor and duty of an auditor in this class. And in your next class it's liabilities of an auditor. Until the next, it is bye from Srimati. Thank you.